Our pranams to Thakur and Shamiji and respected Maharaj. We are reading from the book Lectures from Colombo to Almora by Swami Vivekananda, and we are following the 33rd reprint June 2011 version of the book, page 94. Last time we were discussing about the personal and impersonal God, so we are continuing with that. The Bhagavata says that incarnations are infinite, leaving ample scope for as many as you like to come. Therefore, if any one or more of these persons in India's religious history, any one or more of these incarnations, and any one or more of our prophets are proved not to have been historical, it does not injure our religion at all. Even then, it remains firm as ever because it is based upon principles and not upon persons. It is in vain we try to gather all the people of the world around a single personality. It is difficult to make them gather together even round eternal and universal principles. If it ever becomes possible to bring the largest portion of humanity to one way of thinking in regard to religion, mark you, it must be always through principles and not through persons. Yet, as I have said, our religion has ample scope for the authority and influence of persons. There is that most wonderful theory of Ishta which gives you the fullest and the freest choice possible among these great religious personalities. You may take up any one of the prophets or teachers as your guide and the object of your special adoration. You are even allowed to think that he whom you have chosen is the greatest of the prophets, greatest of all the avatars. There is no harm in that, but you must keep to a firm background of eternally true principles. The strange fact here is that the power of our incarnations has been holding good with us only so far as they are illustrations of the principles in the Vedas. The glory of Sri Krishna is that he has been the best preacher of our eternal religion of principles and the best commentator on the Vedanta that ever lived in India. Stop here.
Yeah. Yes. Does anyone want to tell in the? I'm hearing my own voice. Anyone would like to tell in gist? Don't explain. Just in a sentence or two, the gist of this para.
In Hinduism, there are infinite incarnations, and there is a scope for the personal god or Ishta, but the Ishta also reflects the principles, qualities of Ishta reflects the principles of the religion. And Sri Krishna is the best example, Sri Krishna's life is the best example of Vedantic principle.
Devotees,
Yes.
devotees can be attracted by the eternal principles of the Shastra which we are reading and not by the exactly the personalities. So this is also another point in addition to what she told, what I think.
And since
So
there are
the
infinite,
characteristics of all the incarnations are based on universal truths of Vedas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other point to be added? Anyone would like to add anything else?
even if there the historicity is violated, there is no problem in the base of the religion because it is based on the principles, not on history or person.
Okay. Okay. Now you see, in Hinduism, there is a belief traditionally that Dashawataras. So Lord Vishnu has got Dashawataras, that is a 10 avatars. So when any new avatara come, there can be a couple of people, a packet of people can come, oh, in our scriptures there are only 10 avatars. How can you come the 11th or 12th avatara? The same question had come to Sri Ramakrishna also, after later. I mean, during Sri Ramakrishna's time, even after. Now we have become devotees, we don't have this problem. We don't have this question. But there can be a traditional people who believe to scriptures. They may say there are only Dashawataras. How can Sri Ramakrishna can be incarnation? He can be a saint. Well, he is a realized person. Well, but how can he be avatara? There is no mention in scripture at all. So for this, Sri Ramakrishna also has given this answer, and our scriptures also says. And Swamiji is giving the reference to Bhagavata. In Bhagavata, once Sri Krishna takes Arjuna to one of the tree, there he sees tree has got full of berries, hundreds of berries, and in each berry one god is seeing, like a number of Krishnas or a number of different incarnations. So Arjuna was awestruck, was astonished to see so many avatars or incarnations. Sri Krishna says, yes, it is the fact. So what does it mean? Okay, traditionally or very famous, it has become only 10 people or 10 avatars, but it is not that only 10 avatars is avatars. A number of avatars can come and can go. There is no problem to Hinduism. Hinduism is at not stake. Hinduism will be expanded. So there's a first point. And second thing, this avatara is depending on, based on the universal principles or Vedic principles. What is that? Brahman or Satchitananda, absolute existence, absolute consciousness, absolute bliss. So it is based on that Brahman or the consciousness and the universal principles. And that supreme energy, supreme self has taken the form of Rama, Krishna, Ramakrishna, Buddha. And our Hinduism is allowing us, has given the freedom to worship the God with form, without form. With God, Nirakara Nirguna Swarupa. Someone says, in Gospel and all we see that Sri Ramakrishna used to ask often, do you believe God with form or without form? That was a very common debate in those days. Probably in the present day, we don't have this much debate among Hinduism. So God without form, without any qualities, Nirakara Nirguna Swarupa, if someone wants to wish, someone wants to worship, meditate, worship, yes, it is possible. It is allowed in Hinduism. Well, now, no, I don't want Nirakara, but Saguna, like Brahmos used to do. God without form, but with attributes. He is all compassion, he is all powerful, he is all merciful. They don't have any form, they don't assume forms, but they assume attributes, qualities, innumerable divine qualities. So Nirakara Saguna Rupa. If that someone wishes to worship the God in that form, yes, that is also allowed. Then with Sakara Saguna Rupa, God with form and with qualities, or with nature, with attributes, if so, yes, that is also allowed. That is the beauty of our Vedic religion or Sanatana Dharma. Now, if you see in the Islam, no worship, no idol worship. God can be only without form. God cannot be with form. So they have got only one way of approach. It's a similar way. Christianity also. Christianity has got multiple faiths, internal faiths. Just like we have got so many castes and so many deities or traditions, unfortunately, we don't know in India, probably, but even in Christianity, there are thousands of sects, thousands of way of worshipping. But all they based on Christ, no doubt. But again, Holy Trio, Holy Trinity, not Holy Trio, Holy Trinity comes into picture, and they also have got a particular way of approaching the truth. But whereas in Hinduism, it is universal, with form, without form, with form, with attributes. and without form, without attributes, in any way you can understand, you can explain. Now, why do we need theory of Ishta? Now, whomever I love, for example, whomever I love, for a mother, the son looks beautiful. He looks so handsome. He looks so good. But everyone may not like that. Everyone may not see the same in the same way a person. Just like mother loves the child. So similarly, now I love Rama. So for me, Rama is a supreme deity. Rama is all in all. Rama is alpha and omega of the life. That's fine. But everyone should not, or everyone need not to accept Rama as supreme deity. Well, I worship Rama as a god, but for me is not supreme. Or I love Krishna. I love Ramakrishna. I love Durga. I love Kali. I love Shiva. I love Subramanya, Kartikeya. So that freedom has been given in the Hinduism. That is what Swami is telling. And why do we need Ishta Devata? It is very much essential to go in the spiritual path. Just like to reach Belur Math, there can be 5 to 10 ways. You can go in the water, you can go by air, you can go by helicopter, you can go by walk, you can go by two-wheelers, you can go by public transport. But we should decide in which way or which path we would like to go. Once you decide and you start, you can't go on deviating. By doing that, what happens? You will be doing like a round robin. You keep on going here and there, and you don't reach Belur Math even half a day or one day. So similarly, taking a Ishta Devata, that means what? I am taking an Ishta Devata means I am trying to choose a path. I am trying to choose God in a particular form with particular attributes. That will help to develop bhakti, and it will help us to develop the relationship with the God. That doesn't mean that I should hate other gods, I should deny other gods. No. I can love other gods, I can worship other gods and all, but for me, he is all in all. He is appearing in different forms, different devatas. That is what the theory of Ishta Devata. And that is the beauty. So God with principle, without form and name, and God with form and name, both are possible in Hinduism. That is the beauty of it. Now, why should we take God with form, with attributes? Because already I told in some of the lectures, our mind cannot think, cannot comprehend without name and form. That is our strength and our limitations. Understanding this, these forms and attributes has been given by our rishis. Now, why Krishna became so famous? Because he taught the Vedic principles. Our eternal Vedic principles was taught by Krishna. That's the reason he became famous. This is a one way of telling. So whoever goes against the Vedas, they may not have a place in India. That is what the traditional approach. So God with form, with attributes. Without form, with attributes. Without form, without attributes, we can worship. And one more interesting point is our avatars, prophets, are not depending on the historicity. For example, if you claim and if you prove the historicity of the Jesus Christ is at stake, then the Christianity may crumble down because it is depending on him. But whereas Hinduism, it is not depending on any particular founder, particular god, particular saint. Tomorrow Rama, there are a number of things have been done, books has been done, books have come out, and even now, unfortunately, people keep on debating this, whether Rama was there, whether it was factual or fictitious. Even tomorrow, if for discussion's sake, if Rama has been proven that it was just a poetry or a fiction, he was not there. Even if it has been proved for discussion's sake, even so, there will be no problem to Hinduism. Why? It is not depending on a person, it is depending on principles. And I am worshipping Rama, Krishna, or why? Because they are the embodiment of the principles. When you understand this, when you accept and follow, what happens? There will be no dogmatism or fanaticism. There will be no war. There will be no hatred. In the name of religion, sometimes we bring hatred. Why? Because the personality cult becomes too much. By that, we will be able to spread fast. We will go intense, no doubt. But at the same time, along with that, dogmatism, fanaticism, bigotry, all things will come and there can be clashes. That's why Swamiji is telling that is the beauty of our Vedanta and especially Hinduism. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead next. Reading.
Yes. The second claim of the Vedanta upon the attention of the world is that of all the scriptures in the world, it is the one scripture the teaching of which is in entire harmony with the results that have been attained by the modern scientific investigations of external nature. Two minds in the dim past of history cognate to each other in form and kinship, and sympathy started being placed in different routes. One second. The one was the ancient Hindu mind and the other the ancient Greek mind. The former started by analyzing the internal world, the latter started in search of that goal beyond by analyzing the external world. And even through the various vicissitudes of their history, it is easy to make out these two vibrations of thought as tending to produce similar echoes of the goal beyond. It seems clear that the conclusions of modern materialistic science can be acceptable harmoniously with their religion only to the Vedantins or Hindus as they are called. It seems clear that modern materialism can hold its own and at the same time approach spirituality by taking up the conclusions of the Vedanta. It seems to us and to all who care to know that the conclusions of modern science are the very conclusions the Vedanta reached ages ago. Only in modern science they are written in the language of matter. This then is another claim of the Vedanta upon modern Western minds, its rationality, the wonderful rationalism of the Vedanta. I have myself been told by some of the best Western scientific minds of the day how wonderfully rational the conclusions of the Vedanta are. I know one of them personally who scarcely has time to eat his meal or go out of his laboratory, but who yet would stand by the hour to attend my lectures on the Vedanta. For, as he expresses it, they are so scientific, they so exactly harmonize with the aspirations of the age and with the conclusions to which modern science is coming at the present time. So here it is told that the Vedantic teaching are in harmony with the modern scientific investigation of external nature, and comparing among the Greek and Hindu minds have been done. So Hindus analyze the world or the truth beyond internally, while Greeks seeked it in the external world. And whatever the modern scientific inferences are coming, that are found ages ago by the Vedantins. But the language are only different, and the modern scientific inferences conclusions are in the terms of matter. That is the only difference. And Vedanta being rational, it appeals to many scientific, Western scientific minds also.
Yeah, correct. Any other things to be added? Anyone would like to add any other thing? Yeah. So Swamiji is telling very important points here. I think in first or second lecture we have discussed these things in detail. Hence, just I will mention. If you see the civilization, the history, the traditional history says from apes, from amoeba it came, especially, or whatever, from the apes we came, human beings. Then agriculture and the invention of the fire. These two things brought a big change in the civilization. Then afterwards, slowly we started developing our staying together. Then religion came. But Swami Vivekananda makes a very interesting point or interesting note that it may not be so. After development of religion, the civilization might have developed even, and he gives his own arguments for that elsewhere. Apart from that, if you see the civilization, though this type of differentiation or categorizing is no more relevant in the present day context, many people, they don't accept it also because it is too broad or too vague. But at least Swami is telling Eastern mindset and the Western mindset. And for the Western mindset, Swamiji has taken the Greek mind. The Greeks, they wanted to know the truth. What is truth? And for that, what they did, they started analyzing, observing the things or the facts which was outside available in the external world. And they were going doing experimenting, they were doing perceiving, experimenting, and they got their own theories and own understandings and all. In the Asian mindset or the Eastern mindset especially, they did start in that way. And they did make their own inventions, like we can see Kanada's atomic theory. In the earlier thousands of years before, Kanada has given atomic theory of atoms and molecules. Two atoms, it is called Dvenuka. Three atoms, when it is joined, it is called Trenuka. And what is the atomic structure? All these things. And they got astrology, astronomy, science, metallurgy, alchemy, all these things they did find out. And they did get all these things and something else also. But at some point of time, the Rishis understood how much ever you try to invent, to discover and whatever in the external world, there is no end to it. And we are not going to the existence, the root of the existence or the root of unity. I think in the one of the Upanishads it has been beautifully told, Paranchikani vetunat swayambhu, Parang paschati nantaratman, kaschidira gatmana maikshat, arutta chakshur amritatvam. So the sense organs are giving the distorted image of the reality. First and foremost, they understood. So they decided to go inside and find out what is the reality. Though they had invented a lot, Shastra and Astras we speak, weapons. Today, whatever we are speaking, weapons, military and all, in those days it was there. Shastra and Astras were there. Shastras are just physical weapons. Astras are weapons with the special mantras. So we'll have special powers like Brahmastra. So Brahmastra it is considered as good as nuclear weapon present day. So that's why it's called Astra. Astra means weapon with the special power or mantras, whatever. So then where to find the truth? Where we can find the unitary behind every existence? Then they went inside through meditation, contemplation. They found out, I am the truth. I means here not the body and mind, that is consciousness. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Ekam Sat Vipra Vadanti. Afterwards I'll come. Now Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Whatever exists in this world, innate or sentient or insentient, object or subject, person or a matter, everything has been derived, manifested from one truth. That is what? The consciousness. That is what the Brahman. And law of conservation of energy, law of conservation of momentum, today we speak, and our Vedas have accepted that. No energy can be created, no energy can be destroyed. This is one scientific principle our Vedas have accepted. The second is E is equal to mc square. When we hear, that means energy and the mass are interconvertible. Just 100 years before it has been told. But in our Vedas, in the theory of creation, cosmic theory, we come from consciousness, energy or prana. From prana, we get matter. Or even subtle things, from subtle we get gross matter. Subtle matter and gross matter. And gross matter, it goes back to subtle matter goes back to energy, and energy goes back to consciousness. So E is equal to mc square, whatever we speak. Again, I'm speaking very broadly and very oversimplifying things. So even our Upanishads have understood, and it is in conformity with the modern science. And not only that, quantum physics as a matter and energy are interchangeable. And field theory. Field theory says the universe is a continuum of energy and interactions, and there are no separate solid things. And that's what our Vedanta says actually. And also if you see in the quantum mechanics, the wave particle duality, if you observe, then it behaves in a particular way, and if you don't observe, if you observe or don't observe, it behaves as a particle or a wave. Means the role of the observer is intrinsic to how reality manifests. That's what quantum mechanics today is saying, and that's what we said. The whole world is depending on me. And even the neuroscience, though they are not able to tell the consciousness is where. Earlier they were saying that it is the product of the brain or some chemical reactions. Today they have said no, it is not so. But from where it has come, how it has been originated, they do not know. But they are saying that it is something to do with fundamental, but it is not the product or emergent. And again, our Vedanta has said that consciousness is fundamental. And if you see that, when the unity in existence, when we say that we should love each other, we should help each other and other things. And today butterfly theory and ecology theory, all these things comes with similar understanding or idea. I'm giving few insights, few examples how our Vedantic principles, thousands of years before which was given, is in conformity with the modern physics or modern scientific theories. That's what Swamiji is trying to tell. Yeah. I think we can go to the next para now. Or if you got any one of you any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, any for discussion. Otherwise, we'll go to the next para.
Guruji, one question, Guruji. Guruji, this question arose when you highlighted the point of Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Guruji, the other aspect is also, I just want to clarify on both of these things. What is the difference between Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma and Brahma Satyam Jagan Mitam Jivo Brahma Na Paraha? Any sync is there? Any coincidence is there, or
no? It is not coincidence. The truth has been expressed in a different ways. That's all. No, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Whatever exists in the world or in this creation, everything is Brahman. So whatever exists in smart, like human beings or like living beings, animals, human beings, reptiles, birds, worms, amoeba, paramecium, euglena, or phylums, if you take zoology, all of them are nothing but Brahman. Okay, then what about these innate things like star, galaxies, air, water, fire, objects? All of them are nothing but Brahman. Okay, that is one way of expressing. So whatever exists in the world, everything is what? Brahman and Brahman alone, consciousness alone. Now, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara, when you say Brahman alone is real, the world is an appearance. And there is no essential difference between individual self and the Supreme Self. So there, whatever exists in the creation, everything is Brahman. That's the conclusion. And this is also conclusion, Vedantic conclusion expressed in different way. Okay, whatever exists in the Brahman, you are saying, who is this Brahman? If you ask, Brahman alone is real. It is consciousness. Okay, then whatever I'm perceiving this world, what about it? If you ask, oh, it is an appearance. Then what is the difference between Brahman and me? If you ask, there is no difference between you and the Brahman. So the truth is been told in a different way, that's all. Different way of putting things, yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Scientific conclusions drawn from comparative religion, I would specially like to draw your attention to. The one bears upon the idea of the universality of religions, and the other on the idea of the oneness of things. We observe in the histories of Babylon and among the Jews an interesting religious phenomenon happening. We find that each of these Babylonian and Jewish peoples was divided into so many tribes, each tribe having a god of its own, and that these little tribal gods had often a generic name. The gods among the Babylonians were all called Baals, and among them Baal Merodach was the chief. In course of time, one of these many tribes would conquer and assimilate the other racially allied tribes, and the natural result would be that the god of the conquering tribe would be placed at the head of all the gods of the other tribes. Thus, the so-called boasted monotheism of the Semites was created. Among the Jews, the gods went by the name of Molochs. Of these, there was one Moloch who belonged to the tribe called Israel, and he was called the Moloch Yahweh or Moloch Yahweh. In time, this tribe of Israel slowly conquered some of the other tribes of the same race, destroyed their Molochs, and declared its own Moloch to be the supreme Moloch of all the Molochs. And I am sure most of you know the amount of bloodshed, of tyranny, and of brutal savagery that this religious conquest entailed. Later on, the Babylonians tried to destroy this supremacy of Moloch Yahweh but could not succeed in doing so.
Yeah.
So, first part it is said that there are two scientific conclusions. One is universality of religion and the second is oneness of the thing. I think that is related to the previous paragraph we discussed. Then it is said that there are many divisions among the Babylonians and the Jewish, and each tribe had their own god, and that god of conquering tribe become more powerful than the god of the conquered tribe, and this led to the monotheism of Semites. Babylonian
Andrani, again you are explaining. Please state it. Just state it. It is easy for people to remember.
No, I am not explaining. These are the different statements I am telling together. Okay, so Babylonian and Jewish divisions have their own gods. That is the thing. Then when the different tribes are fighting with each other, the conquering god of the conquering tribe become more powerful than the god of the conquered tribe. And
so there were wars between the tribes.
Yes,
the conquered tribe god will become the supreme god.
Yes.
Example, Babylonian and Israel. That's all. See, when you give this in a cryptic way, it is easy for people to make notes or to remember. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I needed to give all the details. This is called one of the technique in the mind mapping. Making notes and all. We can make 10 points of the big lecture. By seeing the notes, we should be able to recall the whole lecture. So that's what I'm trying to to enable that idea. So in the history of olden days and all, no to tell. There were wars between the countries, and the conquered race used to rule, and their gods used to be the supreme gods. Example, Babylonia and Israel. So does it not cover everything there?
So the fight of supremacy has started from then itself. That I am better than you, you are better than me, like this. The fight of for supremacy.
Yes. Whenever we leave it. Yeah, Niranjana, go ahead.
That was polytheism.
Yeah, you are right. So if you see in the earlier, even in India these things were there. What happened? The tribals, the groups, they were in a small packets actually. So, and technology was not well developed in the way now it has been developed, or in those days also. So as a result, if there is any natural calamity, they had to shift. For small natural calamities, they had to shift, and they had to fight each other. And whoever is to conquer, whoever is to win the match, and their god has to be, their god would have become supreme, and everyone has to, subservient. Not only they have to be subservient to the race, winning race, and even their gods, the losing people has to get away from their gods, and the winning people gods will become supreme, everyone had to follow. So I am the right, I am the might, and everyone has to follow. Not only me, not only my customs, my language, my god, everything. That's what happened, used to happen in the earlier days. That's what Swamiji is telling. Before that, I want to tell, these are not scientific conclusions based on the science. Earlier conclusions Swamiji was mentioning, that is the scientific conclusions with respect to Vedanta and the science. Now this is with the comparative religion. That's where we have to be a bit careful. So here these scientific conclusions has been drawn from the comparative religion. Comparative religion is a systematic study where we try to understand the similarities and differences among the world religions. It is a branch in the study. Okay, so Swamiji is telling scientific conclusion drawn from comparative religion, not from science and matter, science and Vedanta, or science and Upanishads, from that. And there he's telling two things. One is universality of religions and the idea of oneness of things. Idea of oneness of things we have not yet discussed. Now universality of religions is discussing. In the university of religions by discussing, Swamiji is telling in the earlier days, in Babylonia or Mesopotamia, that is the present Iraq basically, and the Israel, we know all. So in those, in the two countries, there were different tribes. They used to fight each other, and whoever is to win, the losers had to follow the winner's culture, religion, god, customs. If not customs, god at least. Swamiji is saying that it has to be followed. That was the fact in the earlier days. So now if you see why the Westerners, they try to impose their views on us even now in the name of Christianity or Islam or in any other, because that's how their culture, their civilization has been developed. So whoever wins, he dictates everything. That is how there. But in our case, now, for example, Chola and Rashtrakutas, for example, they fought each other. So now Rashtrakutas or Cholas have won the war, that's okay. But that doesn't mean that everyone has to follow. If Cholas have won the war, Rashtrakutas also have to accept the god of Cholas. That was not the case. But yes, now Cholas have won the war, so Cholas will be ruling the thing, or the Rashtrakutas will become their subservient, or Samantas, or whatever. Or they had to give away the kingdom. But from the culture, from the language, and especially from the god point of view, in India, it was not this. Even if you see in the Ramayana Mahabharata time, the fighting in the cities were very less actually. They used to go outside of the cities and they used to fight with among soldiers, kings, ministers and all, not with the common public. So common public were not tormented or not put into problems. That's the quite interesting thing in the India. Yeah. Next para.
Just one doubt. That universality of religion, by that he is telling that whether we consider Babylon or we consider the Jews, means whether we consider Babylon or Israel, the pattern is the same, that everywhere there were tribes and there were war among the tribes, and the winning tribe always dominate over the losers. That is the
No.
so
No.
what is meant by that universality of religion?
Yeah, universality of religion is not even, he has not come to that point. In this para, just he is giving the historical background. What do you mean by universality of religion has to be discussed. Swami is yet to discuss, which is in the next para, which is a quite big para. Whether you want to take this class or next class, according to you, we can discuss. I mean, in the next para, universality of religions, what does he mean? Swami tells or explains.
Okay, so that one para we can do. Just we can.
Okay, go ahead then. Go ahead.
It seems to me that such an attempt at tribal self-assertion in religious matters might have taken place on the frontiers of India also. Here too, all the various tribes of the Aryans might have come into conflict with one another for declaring the supremacy of their several tribal gods. But India's history was to be otherwise, was to be different from that of the Jews. India alone was to be of all lands the land of toleration and of spirituality, and therefore the fight between tribes and their gods did not long take place here. For one of the greatest sages that was ever born found out here in India, even at that distant time which history cannot reach, and into whose gloom even tradition itself dares not peep. In that distant time, the sage arose and declared, Ekam Sadvipra Bahuda Vadanti. He who exists is one, the sages call him variously. This is one of the most memorable sentences that was ever uttered, one of the grandest truths that was ever discovered. And for us Hindus, this truth has been the very backbone of our national existence. For throughout the vistas of the centuries of our national life, this one idea, Ekang Sadvipra Bahuda Vadanti, comes down gaining in volume and in fullness till it has permeated the whole of our national existence, till it has mingled in our blood and has become one with us. We live that grand truth in every vein, and our country has become the glorious land of religious toleration. It is here and here alone that they build temples and churches for the religions which have come with the object of condemning our own religion. This is one very great principle that the world is waiting to learn from us. You little know how much of intolerance is yet abroad. It struck me more than once that I should have to leave my bones on foreign shores owing to the prevalence of religious intolerance. Killing a man is nothing for religion's sake. Tomorrow they may do it in the very heart of the boasted civilization of the West, if today they are not really doing so. Outcasting in its most horrible forms would often come down upon the head of a man in the West if he dared to say a word against his country's accepted religion. They talk glibly and smoothly here in criticism of our caste laws. If you go to the West and live there, as I have done, you will know that even some of the biggest professors you hear of are arrant cowards and dare not say, for fear of public opinion, 100th part of what they hold to be really true in religious matters.
Yeah. So can anyone, do you tell it? Yeah.
So in India, there might also have been some conflicts among tribes. It is the land of tolerance and spirituality, so fight subsides. And the greatest truth revealed by the greatest mind here is the Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, and it is the backbone of national existence.
Yeah.
And Hindus even built temples and churches for those who came to condemn their own religion. And in Western people, they, however they know the truth, they are always afraid of the public opinion to speak out that truth.
The intolerance of the West, you can say.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah. So very well, Swamiji has told. So there are some accusations and there are some, historians also make that there were a lot of conflicts among tribes or in the name of religion in India. It may be so, but it is nothing or it is very, 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 very less or minimal. Among India, among like Hindus, like Shaivas and Vaishnavas, among different castes, different sects, there were fights. Yes, there can be one or two or very few, but they're nothing. Compared to the Western and all, we didn't have, hardly we had. Why? Because Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti was the tagline, was the backbone of our Indian ethos, Indian culture, Indian thinking. This was not given yesterday or day before, not a century or two. It is given thousands of years before from a Rishi. And this has become the what do you say, backbone of the Indian culture. As a result, we stay together. Where there was Advaita philosophy, everything is consciousness. At the same time, Charvakas are also were living. Nothing, everything is bullshit. Only body and mind, body matter alone is true. So such a opposites, pair of opposites, both were existing harmoniously in the India. Why? Because Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Even Buddhism or Buddha or Buddhism, whether Buddha told or not, at least Buddhism rejected Vedas, which is our root, which is our backbone, which is our fundamental scripture, but still we allowed them. We worshipped them and we allowed them to build the temples. And not only that, from any other like Israelis, Jews and others, when they came as a surrender, we allowed them to stay, allowed them to follow their religion, and we gave all the freedom. And not only that, who have come to attack us, like Islam and Christianity and all, even for them we gave our land, we allowed them, we respected them to practice their religion. That is the greatness of the Indian, and not only India, it is Hinduism basically. And this thing has to be cultivated, has to be learned by the West from the Semitic religions, yet they're not, whether they will be able to or not, we do not know. And they may say that, oh, in the West, it is all open, they are all very broad-minded people and all. If you think, Swamiji is telling it is not so. It is not by mere imagination or speculation. It is out of my experience, I'm telling. Because he himself faced a lot of troubles. Character assassination was tried by the foreign Christian missionaries because people started following Swami Vivekananda. They had a fear that people stopped coming to Christ churches and they may got some... their donations were becoming less. As a result, out of jealousy, out of hatred, they tried to do character assassination for Swami Vivekananda. Not only that, so much so that they did, once they invited for an event and a poison was mixed in the coffee, and poison coffee was given to Swami Vivekananda. He was about to sip. Swami Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna appeared and he said, Naren, there is a poison in the coffee, don't drink it. So Swami Vivekananda avoided it, and somehow he talking slowly, intelligently, he came out. And attacking him because of his costumes and all, it is all quite common. Even now, sometimes we do get these attacks and all, even now also. So people, how much ever they say they are very broad, they are very scientific minded, etc., etc., it is not so. So either from culture point of view, from religion point of view, they don't accept others. So if you are following them, they will accept. Otherwise, it is not so. And especially with religious matters, it is not. Even till last century, till then, anything other than Catholic or other than Christian, everything is vegan, everything is like a demonic, devilic, and all these things. Because that's how the religion has been taught. The religious scriptures, religious leaders have taught. Even today, many people, they do think the other religions in a very derogative way. So that's what even Swamiji is telling. But whereas in India, it is not so, but whereas in outside, that is the so. They all speak. And he is telling one more example, like Galileo, for example. They had a heliocenter, they had a geocenter. That Earth is middle, including sun, they are rotating. Why? Because their Bible says. When Galileo said, it is not so, then he was put under bars. Then afterwards he said, yes, I was wrong, sorry. Whatever your Bible, Old Testament says, or Bible says, it is true. Then he was let free. Someone asked, Galileo, you know the truth. Why did you accept their mistake or their faults? Because these fools, they don't understand the truth. And why should I waste my life? Why should I die for these rogues? So today, if not today, tomorrow they will understand, saying that he accepted. So there are a number of people has been killed, burnt alive because they are going against church. They were going against Bible or Bible teachings. Whereas in India, it is not so. Even in the name of casteism, untouchability, Brahmin and Shudra, or whatever you say. So, I mean, we have handled them badly, no doubt. Respect was not given. We took all the works from them and we didn't allow them to live with a dignified way, or we didn't allow them to mix with us, we didn't allow them to go along with us. That is all mistakes we have done in India, no doubt, but we never killed them. At the most, probably we might have lashed them, we might have scolded them in very bad words and all, but we never killed them. We don't have much evidences or the history. But whereas in the West, if you go against the church, against the Bible or whatever, they used to kill us, they used to burn live. And so there are so many recorded evidences, either from the kings and the queens or whatever, etc., etc., etc. So if you see that universality of religion, university of religions is very clear in among Hinduism. Because of that, because why? Because of Ekam Sat Vipra Bodha Vadanti. So that is our strength and that is our limitation also if we don't understand properly. Yeah. Any question?
Maharaj, Pranam Maharaj. Maharaj, only one question. Please also ignore me. The question is coming out from my ignorance that I've been passed. Maharaj, the question is about Maharaj, 1 second, Martha Maharaj.
Okay. Okay, he's trying to remember. Before that, if anyone has got, you can ask if anyone has got.
Maharaj, I remembered it, Maharaj. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So, Maharaj, the question is about the worshipping formless God or the God with forms. So, my understanding, Maharaj, from that statement, Nirakara Nirguna, that means it's an endless possibility. You can take any form, any shape, any character. Is that true, Maharaj?
You are right. Yes. All the possibilities, all the permutation combinations are allowed in Hinduism. That freedom, religious freedom has been given. Yes. Religious freedom, spiritual freedom has been given in India or in Hinduism alone.
But
In others, it is not so. Yeah.
The debate that they had in the past about do you worship formless God or do you worship the God with form?
Yes,
Did
they
they
had a
not
debate.
have this kind of understanding in the past, Maharaj? I mean,
Yeah, in the past there were debates, but it was not forced that you should do this alone. Debates is always welcome so that there will be a chance to debate and learn each other, know each other and all. Debate should be there, but it should not be forced an idea on others. Or you cannot say that, okay, whatever I say that it is right and you accept it. Otherwise, I will cut your head, cut your hands. That's what happens with the Semitic religions.
yeah.
So
Maharaj,
Okay,
you know,
no more
during
the
questions.
question first.
Buddhism
Okay, go ahead.
means somewhat this type of episodes occurred, no? That Ashoka, Ajatsattu, Bimbisar, during that period, Maurya period. So,
What did happen?
when Hindu king established means forced everyone, all the subjects to follow Hinduism. Then the if when the Buddhist king is following Buddhism, follower of Lord Buddha, then he is forcing everyone, all the subjects, to follow the Buddhism, and no worship of the Hindu gods were allowed, like that. So
No. There can be
Ashoka,
one or two incidents.
huh.
There may be one or two incidents, but not really. So it was never forced like that. I'm not saying that it was not there at all. Yes, there were there either in the Hindu kings or Buddhist kings or whatever. There were incidents, some things, but they are nothing negligible
Yeah.
and it is hardly things.
So Maharaj, when will be the next class?
Yeah, next class can be 29th if I'm here. There can a chance of going to UK. I'm not very sure. If not 29th, In a week I will come to know. If I'm going to UK, probably 29th we cannot have. Otherwise, then it will be on 5th.
So 29th I am marking. If you have any problem, then we will be having it on 5th. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Pranam.
Yeah, maybe we will end it with a good interesting stories which are very interesting. So in Edinburgh, Scotland, they do Durga Puja Navratri time from quite maybe 10 years or maybe more than that. Okay, they were following a Puja Paddhati book, and one of the monks suggested, since you are doing so well, beautifully, why don't you follow the Belur the book, so that you will follow, everything will be systematic, clear. They said yes, and they accepted, and they started following it. So in the Durga Puja, we worship Mother Durga, and there are so many. Lakki, Saraswati, Ganapati, Kartikeya we worship, Navapatrika we worship, then Chatushashkoti Yogini we worship, then Ashtabhairava, Ekadasha, Rudras, and Dashavatara, Dashamahavidya, and what do you say? Navagraha. So many things will come. So many small groups are there. So among them are Ashtabhairavas. Ashtabhairava Puja. So there is the tradition is, if you got a time, you can do Dashopchar Puja for every Bhairav. Dashopchara means 10 upacharas, 10 items. So with the 10 items, you can worship every Bhairav, all the 8 Bhairavs. If you don't have time and facilities, then you can worship Panchopachar Puja. Pancha Upachara means 5 articles, with 5 articles. So on the Navami day, they saw that they don't have a time. As a result, they discussed, the Pujari and Tantadarak, they discussed and decided that we will do Panchopchar Puja. But till last year, they had done Dashopchara Puja, I suppose. Okay, anyhow, they did Panchopchar Puja. There is no mistake in that. There is no against any tradition, whatever. They did, and they finished. And a lady who was doing Jogari work. Jogari means the person who will be the in charge of the shrine store, and where they will be looking after all the arrangements for puja, main person. And she doesn't know this Bhairava, either Bhairav Puja or Bhairav Puja will have Panchopchar, Dashopchar. She doesn't know anything. Okay. On Dashmi day, early morning, she had a dream. It is a pitch dark. In the pitch dark, there is a very scary face with a black suit face and with a red eyes, like a burning charcoal red eyes, and with a big mustache and other things. It was a very scary face. And that with scary face, not talking, but just with very angry look, he is seeing this lady devotee. She got scared. She thought probably Ravana or some demon has come in my dream or whatever, because she doesn't know about Bhairav and all. Anyhow, she's trying to look, and behind there is a voice which is telling that, why didn't you do the Kala Bhairav Puja properly? And she's trying to understand, connect the dots and all. Then she's scary, and she started doing Ishtamantra Japa. Thakur, please protect me, saying that even at the scary situation in the dream, she started doing the Ishtamantra Japa. After some time, it got subsided and all fine. Then she got, her dream broke, and she got up and had a water and had a walk, and again she went to bed. Then morning, Pujari, she called Pujari for some other puja work discussions. While discussing, she asked, if you don't mind, I have got a doubt. Can you clear me? Then he said, yes. Then she asked, do you do some Bhairav Puja or something in your puja? They said, yes, we do it. Why? Oh, did you do puja properly or not? Then Pujari said, yes, we do the puja properly. But we were doing the Dashopchara till last year, because this time we didn't have a time. We did only Panchopchar Puja. Then she narrated her incident and said, look, Kal Bhairava is not happy about your puja somehow. So he is angry, and he has expressed, now look, what you should do. I do not know about this puja much. So please discuss and decide. Then the Pujari said, I am very happy that God is accepting our puja. So he's annoyed, angry that he didn't get the Dashopchar Puja. Fine. Today we have got a chance to do the remedy. And the Dashopchara, in the Dashami, though we don't have puja, Bhairav Puja detailed, but we shall do the Dashopchar Puja, and we shall try to rectify the mistake or whatever, precautionary measure or preventionary measures. And they did the Dashopchar Puja for all the Bhairavas, 8 Bhairavas on the Dashmi day. Now here two things. So when we do puja sincerely, with dedication, with devotion, the gods and goddesses, they do come and accept our worship. One thing. Second thing, she had a scary dream, fine, but when she got that fear, when she was scary, instead of thinking something else, shouting, screaming, or whatever, she started doing Ishta Mantra Japa. So that mantra has gone deeply in her subconscious mind even. If not, that depth is not there, she could not have remembered Ramakrishna, she could not have remembered the mantra, and she would not have done that. So when we do the puja sincerely, with devotion, with commitment, yes, gods and goddesses will come and accept our worship. So we have to be careful while doing it, and not only that, we should take it for confirmation that yes, with the devotion, with proper arrangements as much as possible, if you do it with devotion, the gods will come. It is not just mere rituals, it is not mere show, or it is not mere belief, it is the fact. The gods accept our pujas, will listen to our prayers. And the second thing is, yes, if the more and more we go deep in our spiritual life with Ishtadeva, Mantra Japa, Upasana, or whatever, even in the difficulties, we can remember the God, and which can probably help us to, for protection or whatever. This is the two things which I want to tell. And recently, one more lady, now Kali Puja is coming, that's why I'm telling this incident. One more lady, she sent an email, sent a message in the Dublin. Maharaj, I've got some problem. Can you help me? I said, please welcome. Go ahead. Then she said, Maharaj, I've got I'm in a problem. I got some question confusion. Can you help me? I said, yes, well, go ahead. Then she said, Maharaj, from 3 generations, we are having a Kali Puja in our house. That is in India, of course, in Calcutta, maybe in Bengal. Okay. Now the tradition is they arrange everything and all. They do puja. I mean, the Brahmin priest will come and do puja. They only prepare fruits and sweets, but any rice, cooking rice and rice items only done by Brahmins. That is the tradition they followed. And their uncles, aunts and all they have followed. And that's what uncle also had told her, that wherever you do Kali Puja, you cannot do the rice worship, only you can do fruits and sweets, something similar to that. It is their belief or their custom or whatever. They have done that. Now, Mother Kali appeared for her in the dream again. She said, I would like to eat from your hand, so cook meals for me and serve me. So one is tradition followed from 3 generations. The other is Mother Kali herself has appeared in the dream, and she said, I would like to eat from your hand. Can you cook and serve the meal for me? So this is what the problem now. Should I follow the tradition or should I listen to the Mother Kali? That was her problem. I said, you are such a blessed lady. Mother herself is asking you to feed. What else is required? Forget about all the rules, regulations, or traditions, or the rituals. Mother wants to eat from your hand. You are so blessed. Cook and feed her. Definitely, she will be happy, more happy, and nothing will happen. Then she said, Mara, thank you. Thanks a lot. My doubts have been cleared, and I'm feeling very happy. It is dear to my heart. You have told, I will do it. So now, see, even in the present day, if we are sincere or whatever, even like God or goddesses, whatever, they're appearing and they're saying that. Imagine, appeared and blessed and all fine, but Mother Kali is asking her to cook and feed because she wants to eat from her hand. How blessed lady she is. If we are sincere and if we are with devotion, if we have got devotion, even today these things are possible. Ram Prasad time it happened, Kamalakanta time we happened, Thakur time we happened, Ramayana Mahabharata time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time it happened. We all hear, we all get inspired, no doubt. But even today, people are getting different type of visions and experiences, and they're able to feel the experience of God. So when we try, even we also can experience. That's what I wish to say.
Maharaj, if there is a time, I want to share one experience which I encountered during Navratri. I started Navratri entire 10 days. I chanted Durga Sapta Sloki. I didn't know Durga Sapta Sloki before. I learned it during the first day of maybe the day before of the first day of Navratri. After I learned, after it's coming out from my mouth so fluently, or maybe I at the end of the last day I chanted for 54 times that entire 8 strangers. One dream I got, Maharaj. Uh, it was one of the similar dream that you mentioned, completely pitch black. The appearance would definitely make anyone fear. The moment I see the figure in the dream, I had uttered this line, Bhaye Brasta Hino Devi Durge Devi Namostute, in the sleep. And my wife has heard that I'm chanting this in the dream. But later I realized why did why this dream came, and why did I utter that line.
Mm.
I understand maybe it's an experiment God has given to me. Have you really mastered the Arshad Varga, the fear of whatever the fear or but I underwent that in my dream. By uttering that one line, I went back to the normal sleep again. This is what it happened for me during Navratri.
Okay. Mm.
I wanted to share it with you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Happy to know. Does anyone want to ask anything or say anything? Or with these fond memories, we will exit the class.
Maharaj, among us, one more person is there who has recently experienced such thing, but it is up to that person whether to share or not. That
Yeah, very happy.
first type of that episode you mentioned. So, like that. Okay.
Okay, Balo Takben Shabai, Jai Ram Krishna, Jai Ma.
Jai.
Jai Maharaj.
Maharaj.